What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. This is going to be a quick morning stream. I just wanted to do a follow up to the dark skin delegation, as well as a couple of other things I've been hearing in social media. Yo, it's been a man. Sunday had a lot of great streams. Shout out to the Roger Report. Shout out to Concrete and Breaking. I keep forgetting it after the Breaking, but Concrete and Danielle's channel. Shout out to Art. Shout out to it's just a lot of great streams. A lot of good content. Shout out to obviously Mr. Fantastic, Man of Tomorrow. I did a stream that people really like. Um it's a lot of great content going on. It has been a day after the week of, the Kobe Bryant situation, and a lot of stuff is crazy because it seems like it's further than that. And I know I said that, but I want to jump right in here because I ain't got a lot of time. So I want to do this before I hop up and get started on some shit. Here's the deal, y'all. So let's start with the colorism. Let's start with the colorism exaggeration. You know, one of the biggest issues in our community, and quite frankly, this is something I see amongst women in general, but in our community in particular, is just the denial of like the real shit. Women want to speak to a problem, but they think they have all the fucking answers. And if they had the answers, they wouldn't fucking really be bitching and crying as much as they do. Because really they really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But see, they have this shame, guilt, and the need to be right that interferes with them saying, I need help because I don't know. They want to say they don't know, but they want to tell you what the answer is because that's that pride shit. That's that pride shit that's just in a lot of black females. So the point is, when I'm listening to the colorism delegation or whatever, the dark skin delegation, y'all check out the video. It's a great video. I didn't check out the end because when I hopped up, I stopped listening. So I got to go back and finish the rest of the part. But one of the things that happened was, number one, they denied the gynocracy. They all were very dismissive of it. They want to say that this is something that's been talked about for years. So I'm glad that they admitted that this isn't some brand new shit, that this is some shit that's been buried for a long time. But to speak to the colorism part, um, women need attention and validation. It is a part of their psyche as women. It doesn't matter how much of a feminist you are. It doesn't matter how much of a womanist you are. It doesn't matter what books you read. Women are still biologically women. Sorry, it is what it is. And as women biologically, attention attention and validation is very essential to their emotional health and mental health. The problem is when they talk about colorism, and here's the thing, I asked them a very direct question. And they all said no on this. I asked them, and I might take out what I said and actually clip it out so you all could hear what I said specifically. But I said, is colorism the biggest issue in the black community? They all said no. You would never know that, though, listening to how they talk about colorism. You would never know that. I'm telling you, the gynocracy is the biggest issue in the black community because it is the issue that permeates everything else, including the colorism problem. And by the way, SWP did great work chronicling that part as far as colorism years ago. Like 5-6 years ago. So these are conversations that have already been had. And what you have is a bunch of women that are north of 40, some of them north of 45, saying the same shit. They're saying the same shit, the same like civil rights shit as far as colorism. You can tell they're talking from a 90s and 80s perspective. The shit they're talking about is not millennial shit. It's basically old shit. Talk about how they grew up. Nobody, you know what? I'm gonna keep it real. Nobody gives a fuck about your childhood because every y'all black women do not have a more fucked up childhood than black men do. Let's keep that all the way real. So this idea of you all want to bring these grievances because you all haven't gotten therapy, motherfucker, there's a whole bunch of black women that are psychologists. Find one and use one. It is not up to men to fix you all's psycho problems. No more than it is up to black women to deal with even though I can make a much stronger argument that black women were involved in fucking up a lot of these black men as mothers versus black men as fathers, doing the reverse, which they didn't. You know, it's not our problem. When you listen to that video, all you really hear is them crying about when they were a child. Get the fuck over it. I'm short. I'm 5'5". You know, if I sat here and got online and I decided to fucking cry about this, motherfuckers would tell me to shut my beta male bitch made ass up and go find something and basically go somewhere and die. That's basically the reception I would get as a black male. But all of a sudden, I'm supposed to pour my heart out and of the black hole that is the black woman's psychological dysfunction. And then on top of that, this is not even a woman that claims that she needs help. This is a woman that on the front end will say she's strong and independent and don't need no man. And if you listen to that video, they all carried that same tone, maybe minus one. And even the one that didn't, I think it was Faith, went out of her way to really, I didn't ask her this question, but she implied it. She said the black community is not a gynocracy, it's a failed patriarchy. So the question I would have asked her is, when was it a patriarchy? Because even when marriage rates were high, the black community was not really a patriarchy. The black community has never been a patriarchy. It's never been established as a patriarchy. So how could it fail? But see, that's just some shit that people want to believe. But when it comes to this colorism argument, it is an ugly girl argument. It has been proven. Why do I say that? Because black women are upset that black women believe, and all women believe this to a certain extent to be fair, but black women believe that the sexual real estate, they own black dick. They own it. They own it as much as a white man owns a black womb to birth and breed with. They own it. And they believe this a lot harder than other women. They believe it is beneath them to have to compete for their men. And you see that in how they act and how they carry themselves. And this is why they always get their men picked the fuck off. They say that at the end of the day, you are betraying the race. And what they're really saying when they say betray the race, they're really saying you're betraying them. And with black women, and I want to get to the point here because I don't want to, I don't want the gems to get lost in me talking a lot. This is the problem I want all you all to understand, whether you are black men, and I want black women to consider that may listen to this. The real problem you all have with black men is you all have a problem with black male choice. You all have the one thing the government can't give you, the one thing the white man can't do is make black men deal with you. You can't force the issue. You can kind of influence it, but you can't force it. You can't create a law that says that black men are only allowed to sleep with what black women consider black women. And that is your problem. You all have an issue with black male agency, and I hear all this psychobabble and all the black women getting in a circle, and basically it's like they get in a circle, form Voltron, and form this Super Saiyan powerful black girl magic necromancy of attitude and oh my god, black women, black women, black women, oh my god, black women, my problems, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That's all you heard. You heard people that literally like minus one. And then I would say Shirley just on some ultra matriarchal shit. I won't say she got a mental issue, but she's on some ultra matriarchal shit. What I would say to Shirley is something very simple. I would say, Shirley, how you carry yourself, how you act, how you conducted yourself in that video is the exact reason why a lot of black men and an increasing number of black men are just leaving the community. Because it's like a lot of black men would rather be alone and deal with that shit. I'm just gonna say that just like that. A lot of black men would rather deal with a fat white bitch than deal with that shit. And the fact, and see, you pretty much accepted that that's just who you are and you don't need to change, and that's fine. But dudes don't have to deal with you. And she's probably, maybe she's married. I wouldn't be surprised if she's married. But my point is that black women have a problem with black male choice, and they always have. Even if black men deal with black women, let's say, okay, let's take the non-black woman shit off the table. Let's just talk about black men that deal with black women. All of this power struggle shit is black women having a problem with black male choice and by de facto black male leadership. Another thing I didn't bring up because I didn't get a chance to, because this is how you really bury black women when it comes to these arguments. Don't focus on black men and black women as adults. Focus on how black women treat black boys, because they can't then sit there and try to play a tit for tat game. They have to then be accountable to how they choose to work. Now, see, the argument they're gonna make is the man just left, and that's when Rashida Schroeder tried to make this argument that niggas just changed. Let me tell you something, Rashida, you're a fucking liar. And I didn't want to, and I really, I didn't want to blow up the spot. But this idea that you believe that the majority of black women want to get married, for millennials, that's a lie. And and you're either fucking stupid, you're fucking misinformed, or you're just a goddamn liar. And I'm gonna say that straight up. You know good. And by the way, the Xers have already had their time. Fucking north of 40. They're in menopause stage. So if we're talking about actual mating and relationships that matter to create black families, you're talking about millennials. And now it's starting to usher into the Z's because they're like 19, 20, 21. But you're only talking about millennials. So the reality is you got a whole bunch of females on there that they're trying to talk about mating relationships and their time is gone. They can't have children. So it doesn't, for Gen Xers, it doesn't matter. Millennials we pretty much occupy the entirety of the sexual relationship and marketing and dating real estate right now. As far as, what, 18 to what, 30, let's say 18 to 37. Let's just call it, really it's 18 to 35, but we'll call it 18 to 37 because, women can have kids late. 18 to 37, 38. Millennials. And now we occupy the entirety of real estate. So any of the Gen Xer issues when it comes to your ability to get a man is quite frankly not relevant at all, at all, at all. Because you all are just fucking for companionship. You're not fucking to actually create black families. See, these are the same motherfuckers that will, when you say something they don't like, they want to give you a fucking history lesson rather than meet me at what I'm saying and then using what they know to do that. They want to give you a history lesson. They want to act like they know more than you do about government. They don't even know who the fuck they're talking to, because really what it is I'm a black woman, you're a black man. Know your place. That's really what it is. The reality of the situation is none of the shit you all said mattered. Because at the end of the day, most of you all are not even in dating and child rearing ages anymore. So y'all are fucking for companionship. So the priority is not with you, how you all fucking grew up. Let's also say this: you all don't give a fuck about how these girls what they're going through now. You only care about the grievances you all personally have. And what you try to do is use this colorism shit as a vector in order to project that shit out. Now, going back to the millennial shit, when you look at millennials, remember the women. This is why talking about Jessica Light and these younger girls is important, because when you hear the dumb shit that they say, they get it from females like that. These are the females in their family. All of those women are different archetypes of women that a lot of these girls are talking about. The ones that are a little bit not as loud mouth or is not as forceful as like Miss Shirley is. Then you got Faith, who she says some off the wall shit, but she says it in a voice that you're not gonna register as much. But so she really believes it just as much as Miss Shirley. She just ain't gonna push it hard enough. Unless you gotta prod her a little bit more to get her to really answer the questions. But she believes the black community was a failed patriarchy, and I would ask her, when was the black community ever a real patriarchy? Um, Because even in Jim Crow, that doesn't count because Jim Crow, we dealt with each other because our survival depended on it, not because black women wanted to do it. And civil rights kind of proved that. I'm gonna address the hiring people thing too, because that's a popular thing they like to say as well. But then you got Rashida, where she thinks she has the most information. She just thinks she's the smartest chick in the room. Now, Rashida will never debate a guy like BGS or a guy like Ron Wills or even a Kevin Sims. She'll never do that. She has to be on a platform with she will never debate a guy like Glenn and Cameron or a guy like Phil from the Advice Show who actually married black women, married dark skinned black women, had dark skinned kids, and then moved in another direction. And as far as a lot of people are concerned, the reason why I'm a light skinned dude, but the reason why a lot of people bring up the light skinned dude, because they see that as a distinction without a difference from you dating out from a perspective of you want to talk about darkism. There's no difference between you getting with a light skinned dude and Phil from the Advice Show getting with a non black woman or Glennon getting with a non black woman after they've already been with black men. Not black men, but black women. Also, Tariq Nasheed got with a mixed woman after he had his first kid with a dark skinned woman. But everybody wants to hold Tariq Nasheed accountable. You can't have it both ways. And too many people want to do that. They want to dick police, but then let women have, oh, women just need to find love wherever they can find it. But with black men, they're making a choice. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You got Susan Rice who thinks she can talk shit about Snoop Dogg and Snoop Dogg. Like, and it's funny because really, Shirley, it came out when she was talking about Kobe. Kobe should give that shit to his mom. Kobe's parents are worth like $40 million. They don't need help. But she doesn't know that, but she thinks she has all the information. Notice how they never said she didn't once say her she very or she may have said once the parents, but really she said the mom. She kept saying the mom, but she doesn't believe in the gynocracy. She's a living example of what the gynocracy is. All I need to do is say listen to her, and that is what the gynocracy is. This queen mother I know best bullshit. But going back to the archetypes, all those women are a perfect example of the females that these young chicks are getting their information from. No wonder they don't know shit. No wonder they're not equipped to get a man. By the way, Jessica Light is in California. Shirley is in California. Is in Southern California. And what do they want to talk about? These Mexicans, these Mexicans, these Mexicans, these Mexicans. Shit is happening everywhere. California is not the center of the world. This shit is happening everywhere. It's happening in different forms. So now you want to talk about the Latin chicks. Most black women talk about the white chicks. At the end of the day, you all are losing everywhere. And I'm like trying to wonder at some point, when the fuck are you all gonna understand that you're losing because of you? You all gonna keep blaming everything, and then y'all gonna wake up one day and these girls like Jessica Light are gonna be coupled up with other females. They gonna be fucking other bitches, and then that's when you all are gonna realize you motherfuckers have just absolutely failed. But then again, we're gonna still blame the government and blame everybody else. Black men have a bigger grievance with the government than anybody else. But you don't even hear us blame the government like that. We have a bigger gripe and deal with the government in a negative way like at a factor of 10 to 1 to black women. We get nothing from the government. We only get attacked. You all get benefits, fucking income tax credits, jobs. You all are way overrepresented compared to other group demographics in public sector jobs. The only jobs we get is the military, and half the time we're getting put in armed combat, shout out to Vietnam, in order to get us killed. But see, none of this shit is considered because as far as they're concerned, they're experts in what black women want. They're not even they don't even have an elementary education in what black men want. But the only time these women got something to say about black unity or they want to talk about some pro-black shit is when they need black men to do some shit for them. Now, let me move on to the hiring shit. Let's be absolutely clear. Black women do not want black male leadership. Black women do not want black women. If you ask black women to vote, would you like black men to have black businesses so black men can hire you? Most black women would say no, because black women have developed a psychological repulsion to black men being in charge of them. Now, the rebuttal to that would be, well, black women, you're saying that you need a woman's permission for you to do you. I would say that's an excellent point. And this is why I keep saying that the biggest obstacle between black men doing what they need to do is actually black women. Because see, the problem is you have black women, black men, they're looking for permission from black women or looking for really support. But the reality is black women are actually going to be the very first obstacle you have to address in order for black men to actually attain any kind of power in this world. Now, the best way to that is really two vectors by which you can deal with that. You can either go around them by say, I'm just not going to play that game, or you can do some unspeakable shit that I'm not even going to mention because they're going to use that as a pretext for this whole video. But I would ask you all to use your imagination for how men generally take power anywhere in the world, or how any other race, including black people in the diaspora, has ever dealt with their women. And it ain't by how ADOS black men do it. Use your imagination. Now, also, what I would say too is the permission shit. This is how you get around that and you go with that directly. Black women raise black boys to serve black women. What black women don't fail to understand is that those same black boys are not raised to serve black women. They have a right as to the women they want to deal with. So the problem is when you raise black boys to be very agreeable, you're basically creating a situation where women that are not as gynocratic get to get their cake and eat it too, because they're like, I get to get a more agreeable male that fits a certain a physical thing that I want, that's making money, and he's winning because he's dealing with a woman that is not on the matrix, not on the gynocratic shit like black women. So you all literally, this SWP and other people said this before. There's books about this. Black women raise the males to literally hop the fence. You all set these dudes up to do that. You raise the dudes to be pretty or attractive. And what happens is you get upset when other women want your men. And now you want to hold your men accountable. You look at the dudes like they're an escape plantation because they're leaving. How dare you leave? And you really, y'all don't have nothing. Y'all really have no leverage, with the exception of the leverage, with the exception of shaming and guilt. This is why Kobe Bryant is a lightning rod. This is quite frankly why Shirley got as action packed as she got about Kobe, because she sees Kobe as a traitor. I'm sorry, most black men don't see Kobe as a traitor. Most black men, and what you all are doing is you all are really low key making Kobe Bryant a martyr. People martyred him for basketball. Now you're all going to start martyring him for something else. And they're going to see Kobe as a fucking lightning rod. And that's extremely dangerous. But see, I don't expect you all to be intelligent because you all are being hyper emotional. And by the way, as far as Kobe's mom was a bitch. I'm going to say that just like that. And I know you're not supposed to call a black woman a mother and a former mother a bitch. That she was a bitch and she got treated like a bitch. And where her father failed is his father didn't check her. And I kind of understand it. It's a rock and a hard place for him, but he did what he had to do as a man. That Kobe was a man first, and his mother was a woman first. Not his mother first, a woman first. And she lost the right to use motherhood as a in the conversation when she decided to sell Kobe shit. They're worth like 30 to 40 million dollars. They're not poor. And even if they wouldn't have had money like that, you know what? Let's go ahead and keep this all real. Boss kicked this fucking mother out of his house that he bought for her. You know why? Because Chris Bosh's mother's dumbass thought it was a good idea to drug traffic. And Chris was giving his mother money. LeBron, if it wasn't for the media helping LeBron cover up his thoughts, mother's attitude activities, LeBron probably would have had to drop his mom off. Real talk. It ain't just dudes hopping the fence that have problems with their moms. NBA YoungBoy, don't make me do a series talking about when black mothers go bad, and we'll show it ain't just black dudes. It's black dudes that fuck black women that's got to deal with their moms. Most black females will tell you that the some one of the biggest issues in a relationship is the man's mother. And these are black women, not non black women. That's an unspoken thing. So, this idea of you owe your mother your life, get the fuck out of here. You motherfuckers abort when you want to. You had that baby because that's what you wanted to do, not out of no obligation. So, this idea, no other woman thinks like that but black women. And it was just the gall of how you stood on that. Like, how dare you mention that? Bitch, please. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. As the oldest in my family, I'm not the favorite. Technically, the middle child is technically the favorite, and then it's the youngest, and then it's me. And I've told my mom straight like that. I said, I know I'm not the favorite. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna be probably the main one to keep your ass out of the fucking hospice center. And that is what it is. But at the same time, I'm not about to fucking argue with you about shit. I'm not. And this idea that there's something mentally wrong with black men if they go against their mothers, every other, like, only black men give their mothers the kind of deference that black men do. This it's like they can't cut the umbilical cord. So I mean, like, Kobe's mom was a bitch, and basically Kobe had to deal with it. Kobe, because she couldn't handle who he was. Oh, but that's a mess. I don't give a fuck about you all's prison yard issue with Hispanics. Because real talk, y'all let them Hispanics call y'all nigga, and that's a commentary on the women too, because those are the type of motherfuckers y'all raise. This is the commentary on the type of dudes black women are raising in California. While y'all was playing Bloods and Crips, fighting each other because them niggas was chasing pussy, trying to validate black women. The Mexicans were gentrifying you all physically and genetically gentrifying you all. So this idea of the men failed, the men are a reflection, the men were boys at one point. And really all this stuff is coming back to is biting y'all in the ass. See, what Shirley doesn't want to admit is Shirley makes it like, oh, we had to survive. That's a lie, and y'all are liars for saying it. Black women didn't have to survive. Because my question to you is, how did you all survive in Jim Crow? How did black women survive before fucking um 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 how did black women survive before welfare? I know welfare was originally intended for white women. Cause by the way, white men like to abandon ship a hell of a lot more than black men do. White men, that's why they created it, because she did say that. But she didn't want to say why. She want to, so the point is, and this crap about, well, white women be on welfare too. Yes, but what the fuck does that have to do with black problems? It doesn't. The point of it is that the truth of it is, where we at? All right. The truth of it is, and everybody says this. Shout out to Professor Black Truth. I gotta find that video. Professor Black Truth has said it. Jason Black has said it. I mean, everybody, like, a lot of your pro-black people have said it. They just don't say it all the time, because if they say it all the time, then black women get turned off. But they have said it. Black women chose to use welfare as a means to basically dethrone black men, to pull a coup. You use the white man's power to remove black men from leadership. And now you all, and I know, and ask me how I know that. I know that's true because black women, this is the secrets that Danielle is always talking about. Because black, and I'm gonna get to some stuff Danielle Concrete said too, and that's not on some negative stuff, because Danielle said some insightful shit. But I wish Fitness Mom would have been on there too, by the way, on that Darkism thing. But anyway, because black women were teaching themselves how to game the system. This idea that black women were doing what they had to do to survive, that's a lie. That, that's true in some situations, but in the law of averages, that's not true. You got black women that they have been on welfare their entire fucking lives. You got black women where they grew up being taught how to game the system in welfare in teens. This idea that black women just had to do what the fuck they had to do to survive is bullshit. Because you got black women that were having kids as a mechanism for welfare. You see, you want to talk about, the history, but you're picking and choosing what history you want to know. I look at everything as its totality. And when new data is introduced, I consider that data. I want the whole truth and nothing but the truth, no matter how painful that is. Black women want narratives. So they try to use history in order to create a narrative, which makes you all no different than white supremacists. Black people are a created class. We were bred here. The majority of us, the least amount of slaves came to the North America. Most of them are in South America. We were bred. That's how our population exploded. And we do learn that our population exploded in school, but we don't really learn how that happened. Shout out to Hidden Colors as well, who talks about the breeding grounds. So the point is, this idea that we were like a patriarchy in a traditional patriarchy it's never been true. Because the black race, the Ados black race, the descendants of slaves, has its foundation in slavery. So where's the fucking patriarchy? Where did the patriarchy happen? It never did. Yeah, you got pockets called Black Wall Street, but those are niggas that had money. And black women actually had access to money way before the men did. The men didn't have really access into money until really labor become a force because America was growing so strongly. And the women never liked that shit. This is why you got shit like Color Purple. Now, going into some stuff Danielle said. Danielle said, shout out to, so her channel, and I gotta link that in the description because the video in the description is really the darkism thing. She said something about how black women, they don't see it as a problem. They think, they're gonna win. They're in competition with their men, all this stuff. The thing that I would have added to what Danielle said, and I didn't hear everything, so I don't know, maybe it was spoken, was that men don't have to play that game with you. And here's the funny thing. Men don't even have to hop the fence. For black men to think, oh, I don't want to compromise my lineage, that's okay. It's called non-American black women. You can start shopping diasporically for women. And you don't even got to leave the hemisphere. If you really focus on it, you really don't even have to really leave the country to do that. In most of you, I mean, I live in Raleigh. I live in a small city. There's African clubs. There's a few of them. If that's really what you want to do. It's just men are not taught to have those options because everything that black men are taught is predicated on black men doing what they're told. This is why you can get a Susan Rice bitch that is with all these Obama bitches coming out of the woodwork, and you're finding they're all with white men. Oh, by the way, Michelle's daughters are about to be with white men too. It's a gynocracy, but that doesn't exist. These women just dismiss that. Cynthia G, all of them, they just dismiss that. Oh, that's not true. It's really a failed patriarchy. Okay, when was it a patriarchy? How and where did it fail? Oh, where it's governmental policies. Okay, what governmental policies? The government provided you the opportunity, but you still committed the racial crime. And now what you all want to do is you all want to bury that shit and make it seem like the government in and of itself. The government didn't come in the house and remove shit. You did it. Oh, well, we had to make a choice between survival and having a man. Okay, so every other races of people but hold on, here's how you know that's bullshit. But at the same time, white women are the majority on welfare. That was an exclusive law to black people. I know the governmental bodies that have to do, and I can tell you right now, I know the governmental bodies. I know women that had men in the house. I'm also tell you how you know that's a goddamn lie. How you think a lot of these dudes are homosexuals? You think all these dudes are homosexuals to black women that got corporate jobs making six figures of shit? Most of these dudes that are playing homosexuals, most of these dudes that are gang banging, a lot of them are living up under women. It's just they're not officially living up under women. They're not up under the lease. So this idea that men are not in these homes, that's actually a lie. That's actually not true either. So what I hear is a whole bunch of narratives, and I'm like, y'all just put that in Pandora's box, lock that shit where y'all can have y'all little circular psychobabble on your own because you can I engage with that because I wanted to ask the questions because we can get to the point. Because a lot of times what they're looking for an argument. They're looking to go back and forth. Right now, fuck all that. I want to. You all can have your opinions. You all have that right as people. I just appreciate that y'all answer these questions. So, question number one, because what I was gonna ask Faith was the follow up question was I was gonna ask, okay, so when was the black community a patriarchy if it failed? Because I'm telling you right now, the black community has never been a patriarchy in the United States of America, and I want you to point out any such situation. The black church was a matriarchy, not a patriarchy. It wasn't a patriarchy. It's more a traditional matriarchy. A gynocracy is not a matriarchy. The gynocracy is a vector, like just like how when Germany controlled France, and France installed a puppet government as an occupying governmental force. That's the gynocracy in the black community. The gynocracy is the buffer. Is the buffer class, and it's also the occupying force, governmental body of white supremacy in the black society. You don't believe me? Go look at how the Democrats interface with black people. They interface through the women and through dudes that are only there because the women want them there. When you look at most of your politicians, when you look at where the money goes through, it all points to it. Black women are in denial with that because then they got to come to the realization that they are complicit, very much so complicit in all complaints that they bring up. They don't want to do that. Yet black women are set from birth to the first thing they want to do is create agency from their men. Yet they don't have gynecology. And by the way, you see the same shit even in the white community. You're starting to see it where they're starting to make white women the buffer between men and the managerial class, the top 10% and top 1% in Plutarchs. You're starting to see that. They've duplicated it. You see that in how America tries to infect other countries. What do? They try to raise the women to create that buffer because they know the problem is black men are not going to go after their women. Other men will use violence to control their women, and America only can project power so much. So other women, although they may be getting out of pocket compared to their men, it's nothing compared to what it is here because you're in the center, you're in basically ground zero where the women can just dial 911. This is the difference between black men and men in Jamaica or men that have much less money. The women can't run a white daddy in order to try to control. The black men are all you have to deal with. So you have to negotiate. You can't run. You can't talk all this bullshit. Because if a dude want to put hands on your ass, there's really nothing you can really do outside of what other men are willing to do. Which, if you're out of pocket as a woman and dudes are not willing to do nothing, well, there you go. You have nowhere to go. But see, in America, y'all can get niggas locked up. Y'all can create laws that completely dismantle black men. You all were in the biggest, I'm going to say this and then I'm done. I'm going to go through a couple of y'all comments. The most effective weapon against black people and against black men that the white man has ever used has been black women. And that is not something new. That has actually been around for quite some time. It is the most effective soft core power weapon, soft power weapon that the white man has ever used. It's been the most effective because what it does is it actually creates an incentive. It actually makes black women invest in their own ultimate destruction. And you all don't want to really come to terms with that because you all want the power, but you just want to change the dynamics. You all want your cake and eat it too. And this is why you all really won't talk to the smartest of us because you know that those conclusions, the logic goes back to it. You all keep on using history and other bullshit to try to deflect from it, but you all are picking and choosing what history you all want to use. You all want to promote the color purple narrative that black women are just victims. They're not accountable to shit. They didn't do shit. They just woke up like this. And a lot of black men go along with it because they thought that was for the good of the race. Now you're dealing with black men who just don't give a shit, and they're gonna tell everything like it is. Anyway, So let's go through what y'all talk about. What's up, Rebel? What's up, Ty City? Demarcus, XM Mac, Art of Fort. And by the way, the Igmores were talking about, and by the way, when it comes to SYSBM, most SYSBM dudes were more preoccupied with leaving than they were with actually examining this shit. So the Igmores have been very instrumental in examining the fuckery that is in the history of this shit. So trust me, we motherfuckers, whatever. Ray Stone. That's why they don't do response videos to shit BGS says, because they know it'll sound stupid. BGS has the he cites his sources, and they can't discount that. So and another reason I want to bring this up too is because Tariq Nasheed and Jason Black. I get that. Like Tariq Nasheed did a video talking about gender divide tactics. The genders are already divided. There is no tactics that really need to be deployed. See that Tariq Nasheed did the same thing Shirley did. Oh, we're gonna blame the government. No, the gender's already divided. A lot of people just don't know it because we're not on the same page. We never really had Lamont Hill or beta males. No, it's deeper than that. They work for the gynocracy. That's what that is. And he was kind of alluding to that, but he don't want to outright say it. And it's like, dude, if we're not going to talk about it, doesn't fuck the money. If you're not going to talk about it, then the community's doomed. This is why I'm like, y'all not serious. Y'all think this shit's going to fix itself. No, it's not. It's going to get worse until it gets to a point where it can't be fixed. This is why we're already at a point where I'm really saying you might as well just carve off 20 or 30% of the black community and everything else just needs to wither because we're already there. You're gonna get to a point like Mr. Research was talking about classism. Notice classism and racism is not the same thing. It's gonna get to the point where that's really what it is, and it's game over. But whatever. No, I'm about to get up. I'm tired. I know I'm not about to go back to sleep, so I said let me go ahead and pop out a video. Yeah. Like black women, and this is why and it was funny, because I asked all the women said that women choose the father for their children, but Rashida. Rashida said no, it's equal. No, it's not. A child is not born without a black woman saying yes or no. Period. 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 And also, I'm gonna come back to this. I'm in the video with this. This narrative, Rashida. See, the thing that kills me about Rashida is Rashida. You don't get to say, "Well, the women I know and me and my fuck your personal experiences," because when you decide to take on an issue like what you're talking about, at this point, you've established. So at once you establish the macro issue, at that point you have to look at it from the vector of it is the law of averages. What is the entire group dealing with? And then you can pocket it out. This like anecdotal evidence goes out the window because you ain't everybody, and everybody ain't you, and everybody ain't your social circle. So that shit don't matter. You live in one part of the country, other people like America's a big country. We're not dealing with like Nigeria. Like you would never do that in smaller countries. The fuck you talking about? The black community is 40 million. But you want to sit here and then you want to use your anecdotal evidence as a way to disprove other things. You want to say, "Oh, you really want to sit there and put on the fucking table that fucking black women are having babies, believing." And I'm gonna prove to you that's bullshit. Cynthia G went from one side of the fucking country to the other to have a kid with Robert fucking Perkins, and he already had 4 fucking kids. So either she's a dumbass bitch, or that shit is. And a lot of black women are doing that. A lot of black women got fucking two or three, got more than two baby daddies. A lot of black women got at least two. It ain't like a whole bunch of black women with one fucking kid and that's it. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's stop lying. You got women that future. I mean, I hate to bring up celebrities. You got women that are knowingly like, come on. Like sitting, you got niggas that like three niggas that they got like 72 kids with 16 different women between them. Like, let's stop lying, Rashida. Rashida, you're sitting here and you're trying to make, oh, well, black women want to, first of all, black women do not want to be married. Black women want the marry. Black women want to show. They don't want to be married. Shout out to blackandmarriedwithkids.com. Y'all, that's number one. Number two, this idea that black women are not just having babies just to have babies and they actually want dudes there. I know a lot of millennials that talk about sperm donors. Remember what I said before? Y'all Gen X, the Gen Xer issues don't matter because y'all are not rearing children. We're talking about millennials. So you all are trying to bring in old shit into current shit. This idea and this fucking lie. Black men today have make it very clear that they don't want kids if they don't want them. Black men are not out here letting a woman have a baby and then turn around and then just getting ghosts. That is not some shit that's happening in enough sizable terms for y'all to say that. That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. These niggas are telling you straight like that how they feel about it. Women and this goes like we're not even gonna talk about all the paternity fraud, all of the bullshit that women are doing in order to get a baby when they want a baby. Fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. And you actually brought that to the floor. Talk about, oh well, these men are just no, they're not. And you know what? I can actually tell what I would tell my cousins is if that's true, then secure a marriages because all these marriages are ending in abuse. These niggas are not just turning on you all. They're not pulling 180s on you all. I'm fucking tired of black women acting like, these men are just pulling 180s and these niggas are not establishing who the fuck they are from jump. You all are so fucking smart. Yet when it comes to you choosing dudes, it's like the only thing you all know how to do is choose motherfuckers that like to smack your ass up and emotionally abuse you or cheat on you. Oh, cheating is a form of abuse. Bitch, please. Because y'all do it. Women cheat more than men, especially today. It's only abuse when men do it. It's only pumping and dumping when men do it. I'm so fucking tired of that shit. Like for real. And this is why nobody takes y'all seriously. This is why you got niggas that say y'all shouldn't even talk. This is why dudes are not even really engaging with y'all. Most dudes are not on YouTube engaging with y'all. Most dudes are leaving. This is why social media, when it comes to all the swirling channels and the female complaint channels, that there's nothing but women over there. Because most dudes are just doing them. Most dudes ain't worried about this shit. They like, that's a personal problem. I'm doing me. And the thing is, again, and I'm in this video with this, you all do not have the problem is choice. Like they said in the Matrix, you all do not have an ability to basically make black men choose you. And you all have a problem with that. You all have a problem with black male agency. I would rather you be honest and say that shit. I don't have a problem with black female agency. If black women can do better than black men, hats off to you. And I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. The only reason why I brought up the Susan Rice, the only reason I even give a fuck that she's with a white man is because she wants to defend another black woman and try to act like Snoop is out of pocket for saying what he said. Let me tell you something. Lisa Leslie did what she was supposed to do, conducting herself as a lady when Gail was trying to be a bitch, low key, and Snoop did what he was supposed to do by checking that bitch on her bitch behavior. That's how it's supposed to be. We do the masculine work. She stays on code. And you notice how black women have a fucking problem with that. Anyway, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. It's a great week. None of them would talk to Kendra. They'd have a problem with Kendra. They call Kendra a pick-me. But I'm glad they came on there. And unfortunately, shout out to Mr. Fantastic, because quite frankly, we got the clips now. Y'all, all you got to do is clip it out. We got the clips. We got what they said. That's why I was like, dudes, like just ask the questions and get the answers. Stop fucking going back and forth with them. You're not going to change their minds. I'm not talking about Fantastic. He do what he wants to do on his show. I'm talking about the other dudes. Even I heard Keith and them going back and forth. I'm like, no, fuck that. You just need to get them on record. Anyway, peace out, y'all.